In the chaos of combat, when every second matters and every decision can mean survival or failure, there's one concept that professionals never ignore: the backup weapon. It's not the star of the show. It's not the weapon that gets all the attention. But when things go wrong, and they often do, it becomes the difference between being helpless and staying in the fight. Picture this. You're in a tight, confined environment. Walls are close, movement is restricted, visibility is limited. This is close quarters combat, fast, unpredictable, and unforgiving. Your primary weapon suddenly fails. Maybe it's out of ammunition. Maybe it jams. Maybe it's simply not practical in that moment. There's no time to fix it, no time to think twice. This is where the backup weapon comes in. A backup weapon is exactly what it sounds like: a secondary tool carried for emergencies. It's not meant to replace the primary weapon under normal conditions, but it's always there, ready to be used instantly. In close quarters situations, this concept becomes even more critical because engagements happen at extremely short distances, often within just a few meters. What makes a backup weapon so effective is accessibility. It must be easy to reach, quick to deploy, and simple to operate. There's no room for complexity when everything is happening at high speed. The user must be able to transition from their primary weapon to their backup weapon almost instinctively, without hesitation. Close quarters combat itself is a completely different environment compared to long-range engagements. There's no time for careful aiming or slow, deliberate movements. Everything is fast, reactive, and often chaotic. Targets appear suddenly. Situations change instantly. The margin for error is incredibly small. In these environments, the size and maneuverability of a weapon matter a lot. Large weapons can become difficult to handle in tight spaces. Corners, doorways, and obstacles can slow movement and limit effectiveness. A smaller backup weapon becomes far more practical because it allows for quicker reactions and better control in confined areas. But it's not just about size. It's about readiness. A backup weapon must always be in a condition where it can be used immediately. There's no time to prepare it when things go wrong. That readiness provides confidence, and that confidence can directly impact decision-making under pressure. Another important factor is reliability. A backup weapon must work when it's needed, no excuses. In high-stress situations, equipment failure can have serious consequences. That's why professionals often rely on tools that are known for their durability and consistent performance. Simplicity often plays a big role here. Fewer moving parts and straightforward operation can reduce the chances of failure. Close quarters combat also demands situational awareness. It's not just about the weapon, it's about understanding the environment. Tight spaces mean limited visibility. There could be multiple threats, obstacles, or unexpected changes. The ability to quickly adapt is essential, and having a backup weapon adds another layer of adaptability. Imagine moving through a narrow hallway. Every step is uncertain. Every corner could hide a threat. Suddenly, your primary weapon is no longer usable. In that moment, there's no time to troubleshoot. The transition to a backup weapon must be immediate and seamless. That's why training and familiarity are so important. Training builds muscle memory. It allows actions to become automatic. In close quarters combat, there's no time to consciously think through every step. The body must react on its own, based on what it has practiced repeatedly. This includes drawing, handling, and using a backup weapon effectively. Speed is another critical factor. In close quarters environments, encounters can happen in fractions of a second. The faster someone can respond, the better their chances of staying in control. A backup weapon provides an immediate option when time is limited and every fraction of a second counts. There's also the psychological aspect. Knowing that you have a backup option can reduce panic and increase focus. When people feel prepared, they're more likely to stay calm under pressure. That calmness can make a huge difference in high-stress situations where clear thinking is essential. However, it's important to understand that a backup weapon is not a solution for everything. It's a tool, and like any tool, its effectiveness depends on how it's used. Poor handling, lack of training, or over-reliance can reduce its value. The key is balance, understanding when and how to use it appropriately. Close quarters combat often involves rapid movement. Entering and exiting spaces, navigating obstacles, and reacting to threats all require quick decisions. A backup weapon supports this mobility by offering a compact and manageable option that doesn't interfere with movement. Another aspect to consider is control. In tight environments, controlling a weapon becomes more challenging. There's less room to adjust, and mistakes can happen quickly. A backup weapon, due to its smaller size, can offer better control in certain situations, allowing for more precise handling when space is limited. Communication can also play a role in close-quarters scenarios, especially in team environments. Clear coordination is essential, and having a backup weapon ensures that an individual can remain effective even if their primary weapon is compromised. This helps maintain overall team performance and reduces the risk of breakdowns during critical moments. Lighting conditions are another factor. Close-quarters combat doesn't always happen in well-lit environments. Low visibility can make it harder to identify threats and navigate spaces. A backup weapon, combined with proper awareness, allows for quicker reactions even when visibility is not ideal. It's also worth noting that close-quarters combat is unpredictable by nature. No two situations are exactly the same. Variables change constantly: environment, movement, timing, and threats. A backup weapon adds flexibility, giving the user more options to adapt to changing conditions. Preparation is key. Carrying a backup weapon is not just about having it, it's about being ready to use it effectively. This includes proper placement, consistent practice, and understanding its role within the overall strategy. Without preparation, even the best tools can become ineffective. There's a common misconception that backup weapons are only for emergencies, and while that's true to an extent, their presence influences how situations are approached. They provide an additional layer of security, allowing for more confident movement and decision-making. Close-quarters combat demands efficiency. There's no room for wasted motion or hesitation. Every action must be purposeful and controlled. A backup weapon fits into this mindset by offering a streamlined solution when the primary option is no longer viable. At the end of the day, the concept is simple but powerful. Always have a fallback. Always be prepared for the unexpected. In close-quarters combat, where situations can change in an instant, having a backup weapon is not just an advantage, it's a necessity. Because when everything goes wrong, and there's no time left to think, the only thing that matters is what you can do in that moment. And sometimes, that moment depends entirely on the tool you kept in reserve.